What's up, guys? Mike the Cop. And there are some people out there under the impression that when it comes to police use of force, it's something that every officer has to do every day for all kinds of reasons. In my mind, I feel like they think it goes something like this.
What brings you in today, sir?
My bike was stolen. I just want to file a...
What the hell?
Hey, officer.
What'd you say to me?
Hello?
Hello, young man. Driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance, please.
All right, no problem, officer.
Oh, what are you doing? Oh, why? Stop resisting!
I'm not
resisting!
Why?
I got you. Yeah, I will defend my brothers. I will defend the weak. I will pursue and fight evil so others may sleep. I am the sheepdog, protecting the night. Wolf hunters unite. Bring it on. It's time to fight.
All right, is that reality? Obviously not. However, it is super important to look at things objectively. So if you have the impression that police use of force is super high, where does that come from? Why are you thinking that? And what information have you dug into outside of just saying, well, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos? What information are you looking at to actually give you an accurate assessment, an unbiased, objective assessment of what police use of force really entails? I came across this study from the National Institute of Justice that they conducted over a 2-year period of time. I'm gonna drop a link below to where I found this. I first saw it in a magazine, and then I think I saw it on a website, and I looked it back up and I found the source, so I will drop that in the description below. And I'm just gonna basically take the time real quick to read a little bit about the premise of this study and give you a couple of numbers. That's it, real short, to the point. And the idea is to help encourage you to start thinking a little bit for yourself rather than sitting in an intellectual high chair and allowing mass media to perpetuate false perceptions, you know, like a little spoon, here comes the airplane, into your mental mouth. Whatever. Let's go. The abstract from this says this: use of force by police can result in serious injuries and fatalities. However, the risk of significant injuries associated with different force modalities, in other words, hands, tasers, batons, guns, different modalities, is poorly defined. The authors of this study sought to determine the incidence of police use of force and compare the likelihood of significant injury with different force modalities. The authors conducted a prospective, multi-center observational study of all use of force incidents at 3 mid-sized police agencies over a 2-year period. Expert physicians reviewed police and medical records to determine injury severity using an a priori, that's an objective, injury severity stratification criteria. All these big words, it's gotta be true, but I think it is anyway. The research findings concluded that police use of force and resulting significant injuries are rare. When force is used, the officers most commonly rely on unarmed physical force and conducted electrical weapons, aka tasers. The result revealed 893 use of force incidents, representing a use of force rate of 0.086% of 1.04 million calls for service, specifically 1,041,737 calls for service. Out of all of those calls for service, just under 11%, 114,064 of those calls resulted in an arrest for a crime, a criminal arrest. And out of that means only 0.78% of all arrests that they tracked over 2 years resulted in any use of force at all. In other words, 1 out of every 128 people arrested for a crime. Out of all of those, only 1 was a gunshot. 1 gunshot causing death out of 114,064 arrests, out of 1 million calls, more than 1 million calls, over 2 years. Also, the study concluded that the majority of hospitalizations were unrelated to the use of force. Only 24% of those that went to the hospital, it was actually tied to the use of force applied by the officers. Now, you can take exception for whatever reason, it's America, to this study, to this information, but this is just an example a sample of saying, let's pick 3 middle-of-the-road sized agencies, let's follow them for 2 years and track all of their calls, all of their uses of force, and determine, is use of force among police officers and is use of force among those they're arresting increasing? Is it a problem? Is there an issue here? And the answer is unequivocally no. That doesn't justify any abuse of police power or use of force, but it also makes it clear that it might not be the problem that some people want you to think it is. Thoughts to consider. Hope you do. Drop any follow-up thoughts or comments, questions down below in the comments section. Subscribe to this channel, hit the notification button, share up the videos. That's it.